Hello and welcome to my model of the 3D brain. So we're going to get started by establishing the anterior and posterior. So we have our fun little A and P to represent such, and then we have this big circle in the middle that is the foramen magnum, which is a big hole. Then we're going to move on to the start of said brain, which is going to be in yellow. What is it, you may ask? Is the medulla oblongata. So we got a little started here. It's not really fitting in the hole, but it's okay. So this is part actually of the myeloencephalon. Don't want to mix up my oranges. Oh my goodness, that'd be really bad. So then we're going to go up to the metacephalon, which is orange, which is our pons. So then we're going to round up the hindbrain with a thing called the cerebellum. This is actually going to be facing the posterior end, so I'm going to put a little dent in it, stick it back here, and show you guys real quick. Beautiful, beautiful. I hope you saw that. So then we need to go up to the midbrain. So what is in the midbrain, you may ask? Well, starting off is actually going to be a third ventricle. So on the posterior end, I'm going to make this little hole, kind of looks like a mouth, and then I'm going to make these two little balls. What are these balls, you may ask? They are red nuclei. Then we are going to move on to my fun little time of substantia nigra. These are going to be like our little eyebrows. So get a little good look-see at that. So we're at this tegmentum, we're at this floor. Well, we need to go up more. We keep going up. We need to go to the tectum, which is the roof. So what are we going to do for the roof? We're going to raise it. So we're going to have our inferior cocci, which are in yellow, and then we're going to have our superior cocci. And if you don't have any hints going on, you'll know that inferior is typically on the bottom and teal, which is the superior, goes on the top. So I'm about to cover that face. So sorry. I know it was really beautiful. But this rounds out the tectum. Now, what are we on? What are we doing? Next is going to be the thalamus. So this is going to be part of the diencephalon, which is part of the forebrain. So we're going to have these two little guys up top, back at it. Let's get a good look-see-loo. This is going to be our thalamus. And so our thalamus will go up again, so you guys know. And then we're going to make this little triangle shape. So this little tiny triangle shape, if you watched my last video, you understand that this is going to be our what? Our hypothalamus. Yes, gave you a little time to say that. It's going to be like a little Dorito on the front, kind of like, it's like pointing. And so we can't have it without a tiny little pituitary gland on the top. Yes, kind of like our little blinker of sorts. That is way too big. Voila. Move my Play-Doh so you guys can see it. Beautiful, beautiful. And now we're not done with the diencephalon area. What we need is, that's right, we need our beautiful epithalamus in third ventricle. So first off, we're going to be starting with the epithalamus. So we have the pedunula, which has a bend. It's funny, I know, right? And then we're going to be jumping off into, I'll actually do this, our little pineal body, which goes right in the bend. Now, where's the third ventricle, you may ask? I put a hole in the other one, so where's this one? Well, funny enough, if you can see there's a little triangle here. That is actually the third ventricle. So this is what our fun looks like thus far. So we're done with the diencephalon. Where are we going next? We need to finish the forebrain, the upper portions of the brain. So with this, we're actually going to be using our fun little teal. Voila. And so we need to make the hippocampus, which is going to be our little arms. They're weird little arms on the side. And then we also need our amygdala. So sorry if I'm butchering these words. I very much have dyslexia and I do need to be treated. But so we have our amygdala and our hippocampus. So we kind of merge them a little bit, so they kind of look like this. Like such, because they're found on the sides. There are two. I don't think the last video I made illustrated that there are two, but yes, there are two. These are a little funky in comparison. They look like a robot. So next, for the telemencephalon, we need a fun little jelly bean combo. So, got my orange for my, what was it? The Pudaman, which these are way too big. Okay, little tiny guys. And then we have the Globius pallidus, which sounds really regal. And so the Globius is going to be actually more in the middle than that of the Pudaman. So you're kind of going to like stick the jelly beans on top like such. Voila. I know the contrast of the enchilada is not that great. So how do we finish out the foramen? Wow. The forebrain. That's words. You need these 2 big strips of what I like to call hot dog style paper, or I think it's like fettuccine. It's these long little strips. I feel like I'm making pasta. And so these strips are actually the carota nucleus. So they go right over the top of everything, covering up all your work. I know, it's so sad. But they would be there. No, there is no cingulate gyrus. That does not exist in this model that I'm creating. So sorry if you were hoping to see that. Other than that, this is the entire brain I've created. So let's get a little spin, shall we? So we have the posterior end. A little spinny spin. Ooh, don't want to hit my Play-Doh. A little fun spin. This isn't usually as flat as that looks. A little fun spinny spin. Okay, well, this is my model. Thank you so much, and have a great day. Bye.